I think we're going to have a little fireside chat today. I'm Sallie Fraenkel, and I would love all of you to introduce yourselves, all of my YouLi friends. Why don't we start with you, Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen Fein, and I'm the founder and CEO of You Live to Travel. And we're the makers of YouLi, which is the best platform for organizing group trips.
Spoken like a true founder. And let's go left to the man in orange.
Hi everyone, my name's Geoff Craig. I'm joined here by Kermit, but don't listen to him. I look after sales and also partnerships here at YouLi. So yeah, looking after acquiring new clients and also forming some really good partnerships across the industry as well.
And I love Kermit's t-shirt. That's just perfect. And we have Vika, who's coming to us from a beautiful location, which maybe you'll tell us about.
Sure. I am in the south of Mexico, in Oaxaca, and I am part of YouLi team that supports the community in marketing messaging. So yeah, those are the things that you see on the profiles. That is me. That's coming from Mexico right now.
Well, I think
she's the one who makes me look really good.
Oh, well, that's nice. Everybody should have someone who makes them look good. I think that that's really essential. Well, I'm excited that you all are allowing me to ask you questions. And quite honestly, I will say that I am the furthest thing from a software expert. So perhaps you'll be able to explain to me and to everyone who's here with us for this new Dawn of Travel Festival, really, what is YouLi and what does it have to do with the new dawn of travel? Jen.
Yeah, so YouLi is a platform. So this is something, some people know what that word means, but some people don't. So I'll just sort of explain it. It's sort of software as a service. So it's software you don't have to download. So you can just go onto your web browser and you can access it. And it makes it really affordable for people who are non-technical and who don't have huge software budgets to actually access automation tools for their businesses, right? And so our software is specifically targeted at transformational travel creators. So these are the businesses that in particular are focused on the groups. So when they take groups of people on transformational experiences, for those of you who have done it or participated in it, you know how hard that can be, right? And it's that the beautiful thing about bringing people together is like so much magic can happen in those moments, but so many things can go wrong. And so it's a sort of balancing those two aspects. And our software fills in the parts where automation and technology can actually save you time and reduce your stress as an organizer. And we also present a very beautiful itinerary and booking page so that your customers see, so if you're a transformational travel creator, they see your brand as being as professional as you are. Because so often our clients are incredibly professional and in person, they're just phenomenal, but then they don't really know how to translate that to online. And right. So then they look a little bit, sort of rough around the edges when they have a sort of, a simple web page might turn off a customer because they sort of like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't.
Especially when you're creating these very rich experiences. But I'm imagining, Jen and Geoff and Vika, that a lot of people may be like me, I don't know, where they come and they might be really creative with creating these trips, but maybe not all that technologically adept. I've taught myself a lot of things, but how do you, let's say I'm a tour operator, a trip creator, I'm going to create group trips, taking people, I don't know, let's say I'm going to take them to Guatemala, which I've done. And how do you help me learn how to use YouLi? Like what do I, what do you say to those who are really, maybe are a little fearful or don't know what to do?
I think if you can fill in a form, you can use YouLi. It's really, really simple. I think the number one feedback I get when I'm talking to, prospective clients is they're just blown away by how easy to use it is. So we've got, a massive YouTube library of how-to videos. We've got a great help center. we onboard people for free when they sign up to a premium package as well. So
what does that mean to me when you say you'll onboard me for free? Will you actually take me through the process of creating my first trip, or what?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just give you a tour of the software, show you the fundamentals of creating that first itinerary, setting up your payments, setting up your tasks, and how to interact with your clients. And so, yeah, so we do that introductory call for free, human to human, because a lot of people prefer that.
Human to human. I love that.
Yeah. And then
and
then, a lot of people from there are happy to self-learn on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, you can book in, some more paid consulting, and we'll dive deeper with you onto that. But as Jen would say, it's a no-code platform, which basically just means, it's as simple as just, clicking on the different menu areas and filling in the blanks. And, you can literally have a trip created, built out, and online taking bookings, in an hour and a half. And that's very, very powerful. And like anything, once you've done it the first time, it just gets easier and easier and easier.
So I'm curious to know, so you all, I believe that you all personally love transformational travel, and that might have been responsible, part of why you got into this. Jen, I'm curious to hear from you. I think of you as very passionate about what you do. Really, what fueled you to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a lot of personal stories about how travel sort of transformed me, and often that was kind of a solo experience. But then as I got really experienced with travel, I started kind of taking people with me. And because I went out, so when I would go out on my own, I would sort of be adventurous and discover, and then I built up my confidence, and then I realized, boy, there's a bunch of my friends who would really like this, but would never do it on their own, right? There's that extra barrier that's sort of like, I'm a little afraid, I don't speak the language, I don't know, what happens if something goes wrong? And so then they just hold themselves back, which is totally fair, right? And not everybody is willing to kind of take that leap. But then I thought,
now it's also, I'm not sure what's happening with the coronavirus in that country, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's really true.
Exactly. And so if there's that sort of fear of the unknown that's holding you back, and actually, that unknown is often the space in which transformation exists, is when you're willing to step into that unknown. And, that's scary, right? And so I think a lot of people
also empowering, right? Yeah. So I guess you could say the same thing with taking the leap into a software platform, kind of exploring YouLi in a way. It almost feels like a metaphor to me. It's like sort of having the courage, in a way, to make the leap to a software platform and a solution that's going to make your business more sophisticated, I guess, without making it too complicated.
And I think that's something. So my personal passion of travel comes from the traveler side of it, right? So the sort of recognizing that me as the experienced leader of experiences, like I know I know all the details, I know all the nuances, and it matters to me. Like I'm the one with that giant Word document, I'm one of those people. But then there's all these people that are just like, just tell me where to show up and how much money it is and what do I need to do to prepare.
Yeah. Oh, it's Vika. That's Vika. There she is.
I'm one of those. Yeah, just when and where. That's it.
Well,
and
so
let me YouLi for that two sides, right? We built it for the travel experience creator to be able to have their view, which is everything. Like it's kind of their giant Word document, but managed in a platform. And then it gets shown to people like Vika one at a time. So Vika sees one thing, Geoff sees a slightly different thing, because maybe they're arriving on different dates, or they're staying in slightly different rooms, or things like that. So, the planner's managing it all in one place, but each of the travelers gets a slightly different experience. And that customer experience is actually really, really important to having the confidence, like, okay, I can go on this adventure. I can step into this unknown because I'm in good hands.
Well, that's why I do kind of think of you guys as powering transformation. You know, we have Intuit inside and we have YouLi powering transformation. I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, obviously, you know, we are all living in COVID times and getting a little tired of talking about it, but I think we do have to acknowledge it. And since this is, you know, a festival celebrating the new dawn of travel, I'm curious to hear what you all's impression is. What do you see dawning in travel? What are we leaving behind? What are we going to?
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting is that prior to COVID crashing on us in March of 2020, the big conversations that we were having was around over tourism and the challenge of people kind of going to places and taking an Instagram photo and disappearing, and the leaving environmental impact or social impact, but not actually, none of the money actually sort of staying in that community. And so there was a lot of discussion around how travel was not always creating value for the communities that were impacted by it. And so what's happened now is that there's been this huge pause and a big reset. And so we have an opportunity off the back of all of that change to actually rebuild this in a way that does actually benefit the travel communities that we're going to visit. And I see when we're working with our transformational travel creators that they care about that. They cared about this long before. Yeah. And so it's about empowering more and more of these people off the back of this big pause to create these experiences and offer them into I think a traveler community that's starting to become aware, like, okay, well, maybe I'm only going to do one trip this year. So maybe instead of hopscotching around 5 different destinations in 10 days, they're gonna spend 10 days really getting into a place and really experiencing either a local cultural aspect or giving back to that community or looking inside and transforming themselves. So I think travelers are looking for something different as they come out of this great pause.
I would agree. And I'm going to actually ask Geoff, Kermit, and Vika, maybe Kermit will speak up for this. No. And what do you see new on the horizon for YouLi? What do you think, Geoff? Do we see anything new coming from YouLi, or any surprises? Anything you might want to share with us?
Oh, in terms of our roadmap or things like that?
No, I'll let you be the one to tell us what you'd like to tell us.
I think we're starting to realize Jen's initial dream, which is YouLi being a. I'm going to use a lot of marketing terms here, so feel free to translate for our audience. But okay. Jen's initial vision was to build a platform where all different people from all different parts of the travel industry could collaborate and work together in the one place. So. With our new affiliate technology, which we've done a few webinars recently, this is becoming a reality whereby, we're now starting to build marketplaces where different operators can list their trips within a certain niche. Then within the trip, all different types of people can collaborate. Obviously, the most basic collaboration is between the trip organizer, or the tour operator and the traveler. That's the most fundamental one. Sure. But we also allow the trip organizer to collaborate with a trip leader from within the group, say the manager of the sports team or the pastor from the church group, that kind of thing. We're also now allowing operators to work with travel agents who are going to be reselling that trip to their own clients.
That's very big.
That's
great.
Yeah, that's very big.
I know that you're in Australia, I'm in the United States, and Vika's in Mexico, and Jen's in Australia, but depending on where you are in the world, those different things are very, very big that you're going to bring this all together.
Yeah, exactly. And so everyone's working in the one place on the one trip. Yes. So that is, for me, is very exciting. So we've, ironically, for a group travel software platform, we traditionally haven't done a lot of work with travel agents. Whenever I'm talking to my friends and family and they ask me what I do for a living, they just automatically assume travel agents. But, our focus to date, and most of our clients to date, are actually very, very passionate group experience leaders, who are experts in their field, have loads of experience in what they do, have all that local knowledge, and they want to share that, with people. So that's traditionally where we started out. A lot of those have morphed into travel agents because they want to provide the flights and the accommodation, everything around that experiential journey. But now we're really evolving and talking with a lot of people, who then want to go that next step, and they focus on creating these wonderful experiences, but they want to get them out to a network of agents who can help them fill up, fill spots on those trips.
Yeah.
Well, I love the fact
yeah, so
that
that's probably the most exciting thing that's coming.
The marketplace also is going to, I guess, allow trip creators, so people operating trips, to get more reach so that they can hopefully be seen by more potential travelers. And I think one thing that probably most people in the travel business can agree with is that the more customers you can get, the better. So I think that's fantastic that you are providing, sort of more and more and more services, is that, to people creating trips.
Yeah, and I think
yeah,
for
exactly.
us,
and I'll let.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll let Jen talk about we are working with quite a few different marketplaces at the moment. So, one around accessible travel, obviously the Transformational Travel Council as well. So it's very exciting to be powering these different niches as well.
Yes, that's great. It's great. Jen, do you want to add on?
And sort of recognizing what, we have a little bit of lag, the fun of Zoom. But I think the thing that we really believe is, we are the technology people. So we want to take care of the tech so that the people who are focused on creating these transformational experiences, and it takes a lot of people, travel agents, the experience creators, the yoga instructor, the various people that are involved in the program creation. There can be a trip leader, so it could be, if it's a leadership retreat where you're taking a team away to really connect, there's going to be a leader in that organization. And then there's, the actual ground operators and the DMC.
Exactly. I was going to ask you if you can accommodate, if you can include them in this whole scenario or whatever you want to call it.
And it all centers around the traveler, right? Like for us, it's all started with, the customer experience that the traveler has with what we call trip pages, and they're all personalized to those travelers. And then within that, they keep coming back. So, they make a booking a year out, like especially these days, you're sort of booking a year in advance. And, but our platform allows you to sort of keep those people engaged through that whole time and prepare. So keep in mind that there's a difference between a sort of a leisurely experience of like, oh, I'm just going to go sit on a beach and read a book for a few days, right? Like that's one kind of holiday. You don't really need to do too much preparation for that. But if you're going on a transformational experience, there's some prep that you need to do, right? And oftentimes, like at a fundamental level, just setting an intention is something that is often done within the trip page. And so the trip organizer will sort of prompt the traveler and say, can you please set an intention? And by thinking about it in advance and writing it down and submitting it to someone, that's sort of part of that accountability.
Wow, it's amazing that you've incorporated all that into the You Live to Travel, platform. It's really pretty comprehensive. Well, so I am mindful that we're probably getting close to the end of our time, and we haven't heard a single thing from Kermit. Are we going to hear from Kermit? That's all. That's my big burning question.
No, he's just observing today. He's very shy.
Well, I love
struggling to be green.
Yes. Oh, I was waiting. I was wondering. I was thinking of that, one of my favorite songs. It's Not Easy Being Green, and I'm sure that it's not easy being green with technology, because while you all are all technology experts, that I know make it what you do is you make it easy for people like me, who's the furthest thing from a technology expert, to expertly execute on trips, on my trips. And I think that that is very powerful. And I think as we do enter this new dawn of travel, you know that the we've talked a little bit about Hillary Clinton, and because I know, Jen, you're reading a fiction book about her, but I think about that it takes a village. And I think that there's a huge amount of truth that in the travel business, you know, for those who are creating transformational travel experiences, it takes a village, you know, literally. And you all are such a critical component of that. So before we leave, is there any last words in this fireside chat without a fire that you'd like to leave for our viewers?
Yeah, I guess I just really want to say, you know, we want to empower you, and by you I mean like everyone who's part of the hard work that's ahead of us to create this new dawn of travel, to be part of that change. And so we want to see ourselves as empowering you, and we're very community led. So please join our community. It's completely free. We do regular sessions where we have conversations like this. Sometimes we talk about tech. Sometimes we have guests to talk about insurance in the age of COVID. So, you know, we really care about empowering our community to do what they really care about. So we can focus on the tech and they can transform people's lives with travel.
Well, I think we're very lucky to have YouLi, and I'm just thinking about when we can all get on that hot air balloon together and rise up into the sky and go floating along, you know, past some gorgeous places, then land and have champagne.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Vika, Geoff, Jen. You all are just the best.
Thank you, Sallie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.